What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Wrong Side of the Tracks. Thank you so fucking much for joining me. You know, I always say it, but I couldn't be any more grateful, man. Let's fucking go. All right, guys. I just noticed that even though when I upload the episodes to Spotify, it has a little spot for you to put what season it is and what episode it is, but it hasn't really been ordering them, or it's ordering them like that, but it isn't putting it in the title. So I'm going to try and go back and change that so you guys know, the first one all the way up. This will be number 12 right here. And I'll make sure from this point forward I start doing that. But they are in order if you want to know. That being said, guys, today is Sunday as I'm recording this. This will be Tuesday's episode. So, Sunday, I love to just fucking riff. I love to just talk about the shit that's been coming up in my mind, showing up in fucking my everyday, reality, the coincidences that I don't believe in that are just fucking flowing in like crazy recently. So, yeah, that's kind of what today's episode is going to be focused on. All the coincidences in the last fucking 2 or 3 days that have shown up and literally had to do with like previous episodes we just discussed and or something that I've posted in the last couple years or has become a part of my metaphysical beliefs, whatever the fuck you want to call them. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about today. So let's kind of dive into it. Yeah, let's see. I got a few, and then we're just gonna fucking riff and see what comes up. You guys know how we do. But a few coincidences that I've noticed showing up. The last episode I just did talking about the shamanic revival, what I believe the shamanic revival is, right? How to kind of operate in this new earth that everybody's talking about. Anyways, the coincidences in that, and then this book that I'm reading, this notebook of Albert Hubbard, written in the fucking 20s. Super cool. Never heard of this guy ever. Like, my mom showed me this book. It looked super old, and it was, published in the 20s. So I was like, oh, I've heard some cool shit about books being published in the 20s. Like, not a lot of shit was changed yet, blah, blah, blah. So, anyways, I just wanted to read it. Come to find out, this dude was either like, this is either me in a past life, or these thoughts, these fucking ideas that I'm having are just like I've been saying, they are projected into the fucking bigger picture, the collective consciousness. And a lot of people have been onto these ideas for a long time. So literally, I'm like still reading this book. So the part that I read and I'm going to read to you today, I did not read until recently. I've had these thoughts of the shamanic revival for the last almost 3 years. It was almost what the podcast was called. And then I thought Wrong Side of the Tracks was a little more fitting for a more inclusive, just outcast, rebel fucking group of people. But the shamanic revival is like kind of all encompassing for just like a, rather than an ism, it's a way of operating that isn't an ism, because it's not just shamanism, right? It's shamanism mixed with modern technology and a whole bunch of other shit that you'll kind of hear. All right, so anyways, the coincidences in that, and really just a lot of his philosophy in general. I might read a little bit further, and it's just crazy fucking similar, right? And then this is a new one. I've just like recently started here in the last couple days, seeing videos and reels of the GATE program, or a lot of people talking about this GATE program that supposedly took place in the 90s. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same thing. I'm not trying to, tie myself into anything, but I was in a program called TAG, Talented and Gifted. They make this GATE thing sound just like that, like gifted and talented and something else, right? I don't know exactly the whole conspiracy. I've just been seeing reels and I'm like, whoa, the things that I'm seeing are eerily similar to my entire story as far as I was in this tag program that we'll talk about. Um, I had a military experience that, like you've heard if you listen to my story, to me is like unlike any military career I've ever heard. And yeah, now my overall perception and metaphysical, like I said, beliefs and what I'm trying to do, like with this podcast and uh, just the level of not give a fuck that I've reached in um, my authenticity, right? Like eerily similar, right? So we're gonna talk about those coincidences, and then I want to talk about uh my recent posts. Like, I just have been having all these thoughts, like, again, like I talked about in my story episodes, I used to be obsessed with like Greek culture, ancient classical Greek culture, the philosophy, the fucking mythology, just yeah, the art, you name it, I was obsessed with it. So much so that I had a conscious decision when I was like 16, 17 years old to like, I'm putting this stuff away, right? It's like too much for me, whatever. I'm in my teenage angst phase. It's just too much. I'm shelving it, right? Didn't think I would ever come back to it, honestly. And now all the recent thoughts that have been coming up, the posts that I've been creating, and then now going back and diving deeper into the Greek culture, because it's like, oh, now I'm understanding that this is where my love of writing and reading and philosophy and everything came from, right? So now I'm going back and I'm dissecting it on a level that I can actually understand it a little bit. And it's like crazy because I literally just made a post where I kind of tie together rationalism, the scientific method, and equals reasoning, basically. Honestly, you could call me a liar. I don't give a fuck. I literally am going to read you the definition of metaphysics, because here's the thing. That's another word that I always use, metaphysics, metaphysics. And I've never actually looked up what it is, right? I've always just like kind of understood it through context to be like the study of just like nature and reality and like what the fuck is going on, like the bigger picture, trying to figure out what's going on, right? That's as far as I could tell you, like my actual definition knowledge of metaphysics was. That being said, since I'm like, diving into all this shit on a deeper level, like more recently, like, hey, why was I obsessed with this? What did this mean? What are these things that I'm talking about, trying to help people understand? So I can break it down, more simply instead of just the way I understand them. And anyways, I'm going to read you the definition and fucking mind blown, right? I'm just trying to connect all these dots for you and point out what I've been talking about in multiple episodes now, guys. Psychic abilities, fucking clairvoyance, claircognizant, clairsentient, fucking telekinesis, telepathy. I don't even know the list of all of them, but this whole category of what we would call like outside the normal operating procedure, I think these are either like emerging or re emerging human fucking traits that are just like they've been trying to come online over and over and over and over through history. For one reason or another, they have been stifled, and we're in one of those periods again, right? And it's like, it's scary, it's cool, it's like all of this shit like to witness, because it kind of feels like something's teetering in the balance. At the end of the day, I really don't know how much it fucking matters. Kind of why we're talking about it on this podcast, to just like get the fear and the gaslighting out of the way and try and figure out, if anything can even be figured out, of like what the fuck is going on. Why have so many people been trying to act like they know what's going on for so long when really no one really knows what's going on? So yeah, we're gonna, there's some connections there, and then yeah, I think those are kind of most of the connections, and then we're gonna see where the episode goes from there, right? And to show you that these. Oh, here, let's get the smell good going. You guys know the routine. Do 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 do. All right. Little radio silence never hurt anybody. Got my trusty chocolate milk. That's not going to last very long. But all right. Here we go, y'all. We're going to start with a poem because I think it's a perfect segue into this whole topic of coincidences. And it's crazy because I posted this, almost 2 years ago. You can go check the Instagram. I am Ryan_Rogers. If you're not following me, you should be following me. I talk about some pretty cool shit, interesting at the least, right? And hey, for anybody who has been listening, I wanted to point this out before we get going too quick. Sorry if you guys do not like the cursing. I'm going to try and tone it back a little bit, but there's just something to know about me. One, I do just drop the F word. I drop the F bomb a lot. It's just like built into my freaking DNA. That being said, it is also kind of like a nervous tick, again, even though I am trying to encourage all of you, plant seeds of authenticity to go do whatever the thing is that you want to do and not give a fuck. Me doing it, this podcasting thing, I still get nerves. There's resistance there. It's not like it's just like, oh, hell yeah, it's podcast day. Let's go fucking do it. No, I feel resistance. I'm like, oh man, are you going to be able to talk? Do they even want to hear what the fuck you have to say? Are they even keeping up with the episodes? Are you losing them? But I have all the thoughts too. They go, right? You just got to push that shit aside and go through it. So if, saying fuck one too many times is a nervous tick, but I still do the thing I'm trying to do, I'm cool with it. That being said, I'm going to be a little conscious of it and try to turn it down a little bit if I can. We'll see what comes of that. Apologies. Sorry, not sorry. I love you all. Let's get into this episode. This poem. I posted it, I guess, almost 2 years ago, but I wrote it probably, I don't know, maybe 3.5 years ago. So, again, a lot of my poetry, why I'm going back and dusting it off now, because it's like poetry was always something, like I've explained before in my story, writing in general for me. Sometimes it's like a conscious thing. I sit down and I actually want to write and go. But sometimes it's just like I'm not even thinking about it at all. Like writing is the last thing on my mind, and I'm sitting there and I'm doing something, and I either hear something, I get a feeling I'm in the right situation. Something happens that like triggers a thing, and it's just like, oh, I need to jot this down, and shit literally just starts flowing in almost faster than I can type. That's why I used to love the days of pencils, and especially when I was fucking just super fluent in cursive, because I would just go and go and go and go, and I could actually keep up with it. This whole typing on a phone thing, I got, pages and pages of notes. But yeah, sometimes it's like hard. These things are just like flowing in, and I'm like, what the fudge, right? And then I literally like it'll come in like periods. It'll literally be like a 1 week or 2 week period of where this is just happening. It's like literally just, and it's not all poems. It's just writing. Sometimes I go back and like structure because I'm like, oh, that sounded cool, and I like mash it together and make a poem. Sometimes they're just like one-liners. Sometimes it's a whole bunch of stuff, just random off the wall stuff, thoughts that I've never had. It's like a whole, I don't know, like I tap into a new fucking data stream of new thoughts, right? If you listen to, oh man, I'm forgetting his name. I haven't read his book. I'm not even going to pretend like I have, but I listened to him on a few different podcasts. He's been on Rogan. You look him up. He's a psychedelic guy. The book that I'm talking about and the kind of analogy that he he talks about is psychedelic, or our mind is like a fucking snowboard mountain if you think of it, right? And thoughts are like the groomed paths, the people that just keep taking the groomed paths over and over and over. That's just thoughts. Like we just have the same thoughts over and over and over. That's why most people just wake up thinking about the same shit every day, go to bed worrying about the same shit every day, and it's just a constant thing. So he likens it to, yeah, our brain is like a fucking snowboard mountain, and these thoughts just get worn into it. And why he's an advocate for psychedelics is because he looks at it like fresh new snowfall on the mountain. So now you can take different paths down the mountain than you've ever taken before, right? That's kind of a cool way to look at what I'm talking about. It's like every now and then, and I don't know why I don't even have to be doing psychedelics. I'm not trying to liken it to that. Just everything everywhere all at once. How I've told you before, I like to connect dots to the bigger pictures. These things are crazy, right? Coincidences. This is what I'm trying to get at this whole episode. Like, why are these coincidences everywhere? If you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, these periods will come where I get into these fucking, now I call them flow states, but before they would just like come and it just freaking writing, bam, right? And then I'm like done and I literally don't write again for, I don't know, there's no time period, but sometimes it's literally like months and then it'll fucking come and just, right? So, anyways, that being said, this freaking poem I feel like is a perfect segue into this whole coincidences episode and hopefully starts to get people to step back and see the bigger picture of things, right? Like stop being so like myopic, like close up nearsighted, right? And get back and see the grand scheme of things. Like a lot of these people have freaking talked about forever. Like there is a spider web of shit, right? Like if everything is as above, so below, as within, so without. Well, our brain and our inner web of thoughts, the internet and the world wide web must be a outward representation of that, right? So all of these people that have been saying this shit for so long, maybe there's more of a connection to it, right? Like, let's step back and look at the fucking 30,000 foot view. So, anyways, let's get into it. This poem. So, I titled it, What If? I just want to start by saying thank you for joining me. I know this isn't a typical start to a poem or the beginning of a tale, but maybe it's time rational thinking and normalcy bid you farewell. What if things really aren't as they appear? What if our eyes, while created for vision, were never designed to truly see clear? What if reality isn't what it seems to be? What if the physical world is all an illusion and it is all about vibrations and energy? What if we just choose to ignore, or rather, not pay attention to it at all? Is blissful ignorance even an option if we choose to deny the call? What if the universe is mental and the ancients had it right? What if the spell that we are under was meant to blur our sight? Could it be? I wonder. Let's ponder this a bit. What if everything we thought we knew was quite the opposite? What if all the suffering and chaos that we see is merely giving us a glimpse of the world we cannot see? What if the war that rages inside each of our cells is only reflecting back to us our own personal hells? What if two very tiny words with the power to create, but rather we use them to continuously fuel hate? What if she doesn't like me, Or what if that country decides to invade? What if those crooked politicians destroy and steal everything we've made? What if, just for a moment, we flip the script on this bitch? What if we rewrite the algorithm and patch the hole in the glitch? What if the only thing stopping us from becoming who we want to be is the thought in our minds of what someone else may think? What if creating a life we love and a world we want to see was really as simple as shifting our energy? What if learning to love and starting to heal from within is what the earth has been waiting for so she could finally begin? What if that's all it was? Could it really be? What if sounds so simple, but perhaps we will see. All right, y'all, that is the poem. So, hold on, let me try and silence that. Yeah, hopefully you guys see the connection between that and everything I've been talking about recently and just like, wow, very coincidental, right? It's out there. And the part that especially like made me think was literally right at the beginning, how this poem starts out like way different. I don't know why I did it that way, but obviously, like I said, it kind of makes sense now. But I just want to start by saying thank you for joining me. I know this isn't the typical start to a poem or the beginning of a tale, but maybe it's time rational thinking and normalcy bid you farewell. The rational thinking thing, right? And then the fucking post recently talking about rationalism, connecting it to that, and then just finding out the definition of metaphysical and what you're going to hear with that. It's like, it just blows my mind, all these connections, right? It's like more and more I am starting to really believe that coincidences are messages from our higher self or the universe or something. Terrence McKenna talked about novelty, like his novelty theory, how the universe loves to preserve novelty. Maybe that's what it is, part of the collective, consciousness. See, me looking back and seeing the bigger picture, that, preserving novelty, humans being special, all these thoughts of our place in the universe, the Akashic records, collective consciousness, source fractaling itself off, living in a fractal universe, the multiverse, all of these things, like they seem like we're talking about the same thing. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy and connecting way too many dots, but it seems like we're literally all just trying to describe the same fucking thing in our own way. Like, it's maybe when you do psychedelics, you'll understand this, like after you've heard 20 people try and describe their psychedelic trips, and it's like, oh, okay. Even when somebody does see something similar as far as like just a geometric pattern, right? Not even anything crazy, just a geometric pattern. Even all of those are described in different ways, colors, the way they're transitioning, how they see them, where they see them. You know what I'm saying? It's like even two very similar experiences are described in such different ways. So I guess it just makes freaking sense to me. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to point out. Well, we're gonna kind of get into it here. Let's see what's the fucking next thing. Next thing on the freaking list. Well, actually, we'll talk about the tag thing in a minute. We're gonna do this. But yeah, the tag thing. Before I forget, in case I forget what I'm talking about, I think a part of why that whole thing is weird and may not have worked, if it is even along the lines of that. Like I said, you guys will have to let me know what you think. This is a new conspiracy that I'm just hearing about, this whole fucking gate thing. But yeah, the fact that like that is also the same time when my brothers like had me start smoking marijuana. So, the fact that I think like marijuana is in this category of like high vibrational fucking medicines, whatever you want to call them, even though the experience isn't as intense as a psychedelic experience, it does the same thing, I think, to our perception of reality as far as like it starts to fucking peel back the onion, like the veil, whatever the fuck you want to call that. It starts to like it plants those seeds of authenticity, not just total skepticism, but skepticism is part of reasoning. Like you shouldn't just be a complete skeptic, right? But you should be skeptical to the point of trying to disprove even the stuff you believe, because that's how you have a firmer ground to stand on. If you're like constantly trying to disprove even the shit you believe in and you can't disprove it, well, then it makes your argument even stronger. If there's holes, if you're finding ways to disprove what you believe in, well, rational thinking, reasoning would say, hey, maybe there's some fucking holes for a reason. Look into them. Maybe don't believe in this thing so wholeheartedly, right? Um, and yeah, so anyways, this fucking post that I made the other day was literally, well, this was like the little thought that I freaking had, and what I tried to make the post on was any good rationalist should try and prove themselves wrong. Like, this is reasoning to me. This is the scientific method. This is what the scientific method was thought up for. Like, this is why I think it was created. Like, can you use your mind and the physical tools you have to recreate a repeatable operation? Like, if so, well, then there's something there to be observed. If not, move along and keep going, right? This is part of growing and learning and evolving and not stagnating. Like, keep moving along. And again, to kind of like, not get judgmental or anything, but, to my hardcore Christians out there, even in the scriptures, it talks about, I think, it's literally words from God himself talking about everything being a refining process. It's like refining. Like there's so many scriptures talking about like fire and burning and like melting and refining, like this purifying process, right? Like that should always be happening. Um, so in my mind, why would, stagnation be okay? To me, stagnation equals death if everything is supposed to be a refining process. It's constantly refining. You're trying to get to perfection, but you never get there, right? Like that's the whole freaking goal. There's always going to be something, somebody, someone out there like outdoing you. So it's causing you to refine your thoughts, ideas, strengths, whatever it is, right? Like this is how we better each other. But yeah, I just wanted to so anyways, I had that thought like in the middle of the night to do that, so I made the post on it the next day, right? Like the way whether you want to believe me or not, I don't really care. I'm trying to, hopefully you think this is as cool as me, as far as like, whoa, if those are really fucking coincidences, that's striking, right? Like I think it's very odd myself. Anyways, the fact that I literally said that, like a good rationalist should try to prove themselves wrong, like this is what reasoning is and the scientific method, I thought that was just like my fucking, not like necessarily like my fucking thoughts, but I thought that was just like, my subconscious little thought I was having, my brain's way of putting things together that have been coming back up in my life recently, right? Okay, that's what it could have been, maybe, I don't know. And then I am bored yesterday, so I have that thought like 2 nights ago in the middle of the night. Like this could have even been same day, just later in the day. I don't know. It was like, because that was like a middle of the night thought, for the next day post. And then this was just like, oh, I'm fucking bored. I want to read some of these things some of these words that I use all the fucking time have my general understanding. But if I'm trying to help educate people or get people guided in the right direction to research the right things, maybe have a more sound, firm definition of, right? So, anyways, metaphysics is one that I started with. Let me just read to you this, what the fucking Wikipedia definition is of metaphysics. Again, you can think what you want about Wikipedia, right? I don't think they would try and fucking fool you too much on something like this. It's not like a person they're trying to lie about, right? So, anyways, the definition here. This is the branch of philosophy that examines the nature and structure of reality. So that's kind of like what I thought, right? Like the study of nature and what the fuck is going on, right? That's like reality. Was the general understanding of what I had. So we were on target, so I wasn't fucking lying to you guys. But here's where it gets crazy and weird, right? It is traditionally seen as the study of independent features of the world, but some theorists view it as an inquiry to the conceptual framework of human understanding. Some philosophers, including Aristotle, designate metaphysics as first philosophy to suggest that it is more fundamental than other forms of philosophical inquiry. I had no idea that Aristotle, right, like one of my favorite Greeks to learn about, some of his poems, just like his writing, his life in general. Had no idea he labeled this shit first philosophy, right? Like metaphysics would have never even. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense in a way because all philosophy is like science philosophy. It's all in like the branch, but I didn't link the two directly in my mind. That just wasn't going hand in hand. So again, back to this whole like obsession with Greek shit in my fucking teenage years. Fast forward to fucking 36 and what I'm trying to do for a living and the connections, right? Like you see like how this fucking spiral, this cyclical nature thing that I'm talking about now, how history repeats itself just like the seasons, right? It's not as frequent as the seasons. That's every year, but history will show us that cultures, societies, civilizations, they run a course and they start off like, you know, small and whatever, and then they get bigger and they thrive, and then they get to their freaking peak, and then they start the downfall, and by the end it's like akin to the dark ages, like it's burning everything down to start anew, right? So then the few that make it through start over, and like you could go all the way back as far as freaking flood stories in every culture to freaking super volcanoes to it never ends, right? Ice ages. Like humans have like gone through this fucking course of greatness washed away, a few survive, becomes better than the previous time. Greatness washed away, few survive, becomes better than the previous time. And it's just this leapfrog effect that every time we reset, even though it seems like a reset, you do reset. It's just like a spiritual awakening. This is like the as above, so below, right? This is connecting the dots. When you're having a spiritual awakening, you fucking like, oh, it feels awesome and you're on cloud nine. And then it's like the worst shit you've ever imagined when you're working through and integrating and all this shit's coming to the surface and it feels like you're at your lowest point, right? And then all of a sudden shit shifts and you're like, whoa, boom. And then it goes in this wave again. And each time, and it feels like you're going nowhere. It feels like the wave is like this, right? But it's not. The wave is like this. So you go up, and even though you come down, you never quite go as low as you were before. And then when you integrate higher than you ever did. And then when you fall, you go, but you don't go as low as you did. And this is the process of it, right? That's what civilizations do. They do reset, but they reset a notch above where they were before. And then it goes, and then that's how eventually you get to where I think we're on this cusp of like the symbiotic relationship between ourselves and AI technology could be a great thing, right? We don't want it to be it, and we don't want it to just be us because we die out. It is the same thing. We'll eventually die out, right? But together, now we can come back a notch above where we were and fucking catapult, right? So, anyways, gonna keep reading this for an instance because this is where I'm gonna show you here in a second where it gets the coincidences and all this. Other than, even though that's already crazy coincidence to me, that like didn't even know what the actual definition of metaphysics. Now I see how closely tied to Greek fucking culture and my obsession, right? So, anyways, metaphysics encompasses a wide range of general and abstract topics. It investigates the nature of existence, the features all entities have in common, and their division into categories of being. An influential division is between particulars and universals. Particulars are individual unique entities like a specific apple. Universals are general features that different particulars have in common, like the color red. Model metaphysics examines what it means for something to be possible or necessary. Metaphysicians also explore the concepts of space, time, and change and their connection to causality and the laws of nature. Other topics include how mind and matter are related, and whether everything in the world is predetermined, and whether there is free will. Man, sounds like a lot of the episodes we've been talking about, right? All right, here's where we're gonna get into the direct connection word thoughts. Like, whoa, weird, right? Metaphysicians use various methods to conduct their inquiry. Traditionally, they rely on rational institutions and abstract reasoning, and have recently included empirical approaches with scientific theories. What the fuck? Rational, reasoning, scientific, all in the same thing. The connections here, right? Freaking thought, post, this, not knowing this, that, like all connected, right? What I'm trying to point out is I'm not some crazy master genius. No, these things are out there. It is a fucking library. Like, the Akashic record sounds all woo woo and fucking mystical, right? It sounds cool. It's a pretty cool fucking word. Akashic records. But like the Library of Alexandria, it's this is what this is. It is a fucking a global fucking data stream that if you shift your consciousness into it somehow, and that's what a lot of these fucking tools do, whether it be fucking tarot channeling, any of the psychic shit, fucking crystals, plant medicines, psychedelics, breath work, meditation, energy work. All of these things are fucking connecting us to the bigger picture, right? That it's like a fucking data stream, right? You can look at it like the simulation, right? The simulation theory is fun and it's easy to explain things in that way. That's why I think people latch on to that theory. No, I don't think that's actually, I mean, it could be, I don't know, like everything is illusion and vibration and shit, right? So I don't really fucking know, but if it is a video game, right? A simulation video game, it's the coolest fucking video game ever created because each character can then individually create its own fucking video game, which is like, wow, what the fuck, right? So, yes, simulation theory is fun to explain all this, but the real fucking rationality of it, the reasoning, the fucking scientific method part of it should show that, hey, there is a bigger picture here, like literally a bigger picture that has caught and captured in like a fucking an eagle eye. It has recorded all of human history and fucking experience, and there are fucking pathways, data streams, fucking routes to connect there. Plain and simple, right? Like, I guess not plain and simple. I don't know necessarily, I can have my reasons why I think this would be as far as coming to learning, growth, understanding, evolving, all of that, making the shit cool. But I really don't know, right? I don't fucking know. I just know that there cannot be this many coincidences fucking going on worldwide, right? Like we are all a hive mind to an extent. right? We obviously clearly all do have our own fucking, occasional fucking new thought or new way of perceiving, right? Something that, you know, gives it a new light, but at the end of the day, once that's there, it's like thrown out there. Then like anybody else fucking has the ability to fucking like grab it, think of it, download it, upload it, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So, man, this motherfucker is just chasing me today, like going straight up in my face. But, yeah, I just thought that was, pretty crazy, guys. Yeah, again, and we won't have to go all, let's see. Oh yeah, I guess this kind of short and sweet right here. Metaphysics is the study of the most general features of reality, including existence, objects and their properties, possibility and necessity, space and time, change, causation, and the relation between matter and mind. It is one of the oldest branches of philosophy. Didn't know that either, and literally, and I'm not trying to take credit for this, but like how this thing going out there that the universe is mental, right? Like we're projecting this shit out um of our fucking minds, right? Like we all have our own reality, but the reality we live in is like the overlap. It's like the Venn diagram. We're living in the overlap of what everyone's kind of shared reality is. But then that's why when somebody has a new off the wall thing and something bizarro comes out into the fucking world, it's kind of like, oh, shock and awe. But it's like our glimpse into that person's fucking psyche, imagination, into the fucking the new uncharted depths of consciousness. It's cool. And then it gets added into the fucking the mix, and then it becomes part of the thing, and now other people can build and create off of that. Like that's what the fuck we do. Rogan has talked about this a lot, as far as like we we build and create. Like humans just fucking build and create. Like even if we fucking have something, we just still build and create. Like there's very few things that we have that like have reached, kind of like the peak. Really, I don't even one that I can think of off the top of my mind. Maybe you guys can comment down below and let me know some others. But like even realistically, like I mean, kind of the iPhone realistically hasn't done anything new since it came out. I mean, they've upped its abilities as far as like longer battery life, brighter screen, more dynamic, friendly user interface. But as far as like the operation of the touch screen and the design of it, it's like it's pretty much the same thing. But that's not what I was gonna think of. The thing I was gonna say is like the printer. Think about a printer. I don't know when the fuck the printer was invented. Maybe we should look that up. Let's fucking look that up real quick. Wikipedia. Fucking when was the printer invented? When was printer invented? Oh, fucking says cylinder seals in Mesopotamia, printers, certified clay documents. The first mechanical printer was designed in the 1800s, but it wasn't. Dang. This talks about like 3500 BC. Okay, that's crazy. Okay, that's the one I'm looking for. EP, the first electronic printer developed by Epson in 1968. Or maybe this Remington Rand developed one in 1953. Okay, so I'm not sure. This shit's all over the place, but it's probably back in like the 50s or some shit, 50s or 60s. The point I'm trying to prove is like the printer has not fucking changed. Like what the fuck it does, like literally, it's quite amazing realistically if you think about it. Like this is able to print a fucking piece of paper is obviously thin as paper. It's thin as shit, and this thing can print obviously text or pictures on both sides of a thin ass sheet of paper to where a good printer you get no bleed through. Like this thing somehow layers this ink so minutely into the fucking paper that you can't scrape it off, but it's not going through to the other side. Like it's quite fucking amazing realistically if you think about it. That's why it hasn't really been, changed. Or, there might be, some upgrades or people trying to do a few different things with it, but you can still get just the standard old fucking regular printer that's been just banging away forever, change the ink cartridges and the shit's like good. So, um, Yeah, I don't know what the point. Oh yeah, I was talking about like very few things reach a pinnacle where they're not fucking changing, right? But even those things, people will still try to add on to them, so they go into the fucking the collective picture. Is kind of what I was talking about. Um. All right, let's see what other fucking connections we wanted to make. One second. Hmm. Hey, I don't want to be one of those guys that's always trying to freaking like follow share, but for reals guys, if you guys enjoy any of these topics, if you're actually learning some shit as far as like, you know, perspective from some of these conspiracies, these fucking taboo woo woo motherfuckers that you've never like heard before, just like a more down to earth real life, someone who started on the woo mysticism end and through rational fucking scientific method and reasoning have gotten to a place of, oh, just a very real fucking understanding that these things are just tools, just different fucking ways to connect, right? It's just like how computer hackers or geeks, like, no different fucking torrents or um, whatever it is, backdoors, hacks into the fucking dark web or whatever it is. Like, that is what our brain is, right? And to tap into the all database database is just a variable of different fucking tools, right? Like, um, again, I want to get into some of these, like, I don't know if I'll do. Yeah, we'll see what episodes we do. But yeah, still psychedelics, freaking tarot, astral projection. These are some of the things that I have. Like, obviously, I've done Reiki episodes. I've talked about energy work. So energy work is like where I'm fucking at, right? Like energy, seeing shit as energy is just like my whole thing. Even when I do psychedelics, that's like now the reason why I use psychedelics is way different than the reason why I started, right? Using this rational reasoning and shit. Um, Psychedelics are my like quick, they're almost like the cheat code into the grid, right? Into the, I call it the treehouse, right? This is what, if we want to talk like funny semantics and what everybody else calls it, right? The Akashic records, the collective consciousness. I call it the treehouse because literally the way, after countless explorations, I get to a place that is very similar to, it's like the tree in fucking The Lion King, like where the monkey fucking lives in. Like, I don't know what kind of tree that is, but big ass tree canopy, and you can literally like go up on the fucking trunk, the branches of the tree, and like fucking, walk around. It's like a big fucking tree house almost. That's, I get to a place like that where I can go up into the tree house and, no joke, just like little apples, like little bits of fruit, there's these little like data packets, and whatever I seem to want to think of or explore, I can literally find that data packet, and it's like a whole world of shit unfolded. It's fucking insane. And I can learn it and see it and whatever I need to get out of it, not even necessarily to bring back and awe the world with, but no, to make sense of shit in my life. And then I put it away and I go, right? It's a super cool and personal thing, but yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, so like by using this rational reasoning thing, like even with all of these tools, even though I may not understand exactly like why or how or what the fuck these things are really doing, the understanding that I have come to, through using them and through fucking reasoning is, you don't need the woo woo, right? These things are, they do their fucking thing without the woo woo. The woo woo is cool, right? The mysticism is cool to talk about. It's cool to entertain. It's fun to put on a show, right? I'm very eccentric myself. But at the end of the day, for the common man, it doesn't need that. It doesn't need the entertainment. It doesn't need the wazzle dazzle. It doesn't need the lights in the show and the red carpet rolled out for it. No, it does its fucking thing Like with or without that, it's that fucking real, right? Like it's as real as knocking on that table. It's we may not be able to understand or explain it as efficiently or elegantly as we would like to sometimes, but it's that fucking real, right? Whether it's happening outside here in an invisible landscape or it's inside here, it doesn't matter. As above, so below, as within, so without, doesn't matter. It's fucking as real, right? Just because your thoughts and your imaginations take place inside your head doesn't mean they're any less real than a creative fucking project that comes out of the thought or the imagination, right? It's all part of the same thing. So, um, yeah, what are we gonna move on to? Do I want to read the book first? Yeah, let's read the book first. We're gonna end with the gate thing. So if that's all you've been looking forward to, maybe you don't even know about that fucking conspiracy, and that's something that's new to you, like it is to me, and that'll be fucking cool. You'll kind of explore this with me. This is something I'm gonna look into even more. Again, I don't want to like promote fucking conspiracies because realistically, I don't give a fuck about them. Like, at one point I did. I was all into it. Trust me. Like, I was into fucking Alex Jones back when he was on the AM station. Fucking before it was called InfoWars, it was called Prison Planet, right? So I was into all that shit, so I get it. I'm not trying to discredit any of that, but what I'm saying now is just like the how I just said, the psychedelics and that shit. They don't need your thoughts or opinions or beliefs on them to do their thing. Neither does the fucking world or the grand scheme of things. It doesn't need conspiracy theories. It doesn't need people trying to be weird and dictate shit because it's just gonna happen. It's just the nature of it. The more people you got, the possibility, especially when you get into fucking quantum sciences, and now we're talking multi-dimensional probability scale, you're gonna have goofy shit. It's just what's gonna happen. Humans are fucking goofy, right? Whether we're the aliens that I like to talk about, or whether we're just fucking the craziest, most complex fucking biological, fucking electromagnetic, organic, spiritual, conscious being, creature that's ever fucking existed. Um, doesn't matter. Humans are fucking weird, right? So yeah, the part that I wanted to read on this fucking book, guys, and realistically, maybe I'll just have to fucking do like I don't know, maybe once some of these podcasts get going and you guys actually fucking start interacting with me a little bit, which I really hope you guys do. Let me know which areas you're a little more into or not, because like I said, we've been covering fucking everything to give you just an idea of how much shit is in my mind and where it goes. That being said, if you guys have any one direction you want to pull it, we can fucking go deeper down any one of these rabbit holes. We can go for days, man. Let's do it. So that being said, if you want to like read, like hear out of more of this book, and yeah, I don't know if you guys can see this, but the way this book is even done is so freaking cool. Like, look at this shit. So you have your regular writing, and then you have these in the middle texts that are done, and then you can see like the intricacy on the letters, and then every now and then you just have pages like this where it's like super done up, all like calligraphy like, super cool. And then those pages are more like, I don't know, if I were to guess, I would say they were more like foundation mottos of his philosophy. I mean, the whole book, it's obviously called The Notebook of Elbert Hubbard. So the whole book is like an autobiography, the guy's whole fucking philosophy, what he thought, believed, did, you name it, right? But it also talks about just tons of shit going on in the fucking world, and you get a good background context of what the fuck life was like too, like in it. So it's just a really interesting book. Maybe you guys just want to read, have like a couple episodes where we read some fucking just straight passages out of here. But anyways, thought this was fucking super interesting right here. Because like I said, I'm reading out of this now, not finished with it. So as things come up, I'm like, whoa, that's super weird. So again, fucking just for fucking shits and giggles and fun's sake, I don't know about the whole past live things. That's not one of my, I haven't dove down that road like I have fucking tarot or fucking, psychedelics or anything like that. That being said, kind of the understanding that I've come to with like any of these psychic abilities and like gene keys and epigenetics, if you've never heard of like epigenetics, there might be something to past lives. And if it isn't like necessarily we lived that past life, something so strong or inherent in our DNA from our ancestors that it's basically like we can feel that past life or something. You know what I'm saying? Just like another like little chink in the armor, like they are pieces of us. And if they were pieces of us, right, and it's in our DNA, and the collective knowledge, everyone has been able to tap into this, right? Like a fucking memory, right? Well, then maybe that kind of explains some of this fucking past live shit. I don't know. Again, I try and make sense of some of this, and some of it maybe there just isn't sense to be made. Some of it there is just fucking just shit that happens, right? But to me it seems like it makes a lot more sense. But hey, what do I know, right? So anyways, yeah, the last episode, episode 11, where I talk about the shamanic revival and this kind of putting forth a fucking way of like operating in this new earth, right? Like what it could look like as far as like a merging of the old world and the new world, the shamanic world with the high speed technological world. Sprinkle a little freaking classical Greece in there and some fucking just American patriotism along the way, and we get this crazy new thing, right? Who freaking knows? The whole episode, I talked for like 2.5 hours. You got to go back and listen because it's, to me, again, strikingly crazy. And maybe it makes more sense to me because of all the context I have, like previous, the previous pages of this book. That being said, I think this one column here, it's not even a full page. I'm just going to do freaking one fucking column, right? 2 columns per page. We're only doing one. So, and I think it'll be like, whoa, if he didn't freaking, here's the thing. This book just came into my life 6 months ago. Like I said, thoughts of the shamanic revival have been in here since fucking 23, 22. A long fucking time. So the coincidence is happening now, right? Like you can think what you want if I took this or not, but it's like, whoa, what I'm trying to get at again is the bigger picture. There is a way to tap into that a lot of people have been doing for a long time, right? Like for me, it started happening a lot more unknowingly, and then putting 2 and 2 together, and then the scientific method of repeating, and you can get there over and over and over, and then it becoming a thing. So I don't expect anyone to understand this shit right away. Again, it's like a fucking long process, and I'm still probably not all the way there, but I feel like I'm far enough away now that I can start helping other people who may be having similar experiences and coincidences just popping up like crazy. And I think that's the sign that like, oh, hey, you're fucking on the fast track of the speed, right? Like you're gonna fucking reset because that's what the spiral does. But right now, gather all this shit because it's gonna make sense, right? So anyways, Here is what Elbert Hubbard puts forth as, I mean, and he doesn't say anything as far as like, oh, this is a way we should live or whatever, but this whole kind of book, yeah, is like his philosophy, his life, his everything. So this column to me sounds strikingly similar to the shamanic revival and the fucking previous 10 episodes I've recorded. So go back and listen to this. Let me know what you think. And if you fucking haven't heard the shamanic revival, this is just a cool passage, right? Again, like, I coach kids, and sometimes I'll try and teach them one thing in one ear, out the other. A freaking high school kid will come down to help out with practice, teach them the same thing I just showed them, and it's like the coolest thing they've ever seen, right? So I totally understand that sometimes just hearing things from another perspective or from another person, or the same exact thing from a fucking different point of view, right? Uh Gets through better to some people. So if that's what happens and you didn't even listen to my episode on shamanic revival and you hear this for the first time and you're like, whoa, that is just kind of a cool way of thinking about things. Maybe that's what New Earth could fucking look like, or maybe that could be an experiment we try in New Earth, right? Like, that's the other thing. We don't have to fucking society doesn't have to look like one thing. We could try all these different things, and then it's fucking, the creme de la creme, as the best one rises to the surface. We play that game for a while, right? Fuck, not that hard. We make the shit up as we go. Life is mental. All right, so here we go. The old and once popular view of life that regarded man as a sinful, lost, fallen, despised, despicable, and damned thing has very naturally tended to kill in him enthusiasm, health, and self reliance. Probably it has shortened the average length of life more than a score of years. When man comes to realize that he is part and partial of the divine energy that lives in all he sees and feels and hears, he will indeed be positioned to claim and receive his birthright. And this birthright is to be healthy and happy. The religion of humanity does not seek to placate a wrath of non resident deity, nor it worship an absentee God. It knows nothing of gods, ghosts, goblins, sprites, fairies, devils, or witches. I would not know a god if I saw one coming down the street in an automobile. If ever a man existed who had but one parent, this fact of his Agamemnus would not be of any recommendation to us, nor would it make special claim on our reverence or regard. Rather, it would place him outside of our realm, so that it was that he might do or say what might be vital, would not be vital to us. He would be a different being from us, therefore his experiences would not be an example for us to follow. The religion of humanity knows nothing of a vicarious atonement, justification by faith, miraculous conception, transubstantiation, original sin, hell, heaven, or the efficacy of baptism as a saving ordinance. It does not know whether man lives again as an individual after he dies or not. It is not so much interested in knowing whether a book is inspired as whether it is true. It does not limit the number of saviors of the race, but believes that any man or woman who makes this world a better place is in degree a savior of mankind. It knows that the world is not yet saved from ignorance, superstition, and incompetence, nor redeemed from a belief in miracles, and hence it believes that there must be saviors yet to come. It believes that the supernatural is the natural, not yet understood. Commerce is no longer exploitation. It is human service, and no business concern can hope to prosper which does not meet a human need and add to human happiness. It is indiscriminate giving to the poor. The indiscriminate giving to the poor was a mistaken policy. It tended to make poverty perpetual.
Now we aim to give just one thing, and that is opportunity. Business aims to render life safe and secure, to supervise wisely the great corporation as well, but to look backward to the days when business was polite pillage and regard our great business concerns as piratical institutions carrying letters of marque and reprisal is a grave error born in the minds of little men. When these little men legislate, they set the brakes going uphill. Charity and piracy are things of the past. They were always closely akin, for pirates were very charitable, and in ever their train were troops of sturdy beggars. Business will yet do away with graft and begging. Reciprocity, cooperation, and mutuality are the important words now. All right, guys. So, 1 second. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. There's so much cool stuff in that book. But just like how I talked about in that shamanic revival episode, the gaslighting, the fear mongering, the trying to make man believe that you're this puny, insignificant thing that needs to suffer now and hope for a better afterlife, those days are done. The new earth is based on freaking skills, value, symbiotic, equal, energetic exchange. That is like literally everything he's freaking saying there. How special we all are, right? How connected we all actually are, straight to the source, the divine, right? It's through any number of these tools, right? Um, so yeah, the coincidences thing, guys, they're just freaking, like I said, bam, 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 coming up everywhere. That's probably what we're going to title this episode, Coincidences or some shit like that. Let's see what we're pushing on time. Ooh, not too bad. It might be. Maybe you guys don't like talking for 2 hours, right? I don't know how long you guys actually listen to the episode for, right? Analytics don't show that far. Not like I'd care anyways, but all they show is like if somebody listens past a minute. But I don't know if you guys are listening for 5 minutes or the whole 2 hours, right? But um, hopefully you listen in there even if you have to break it up into segments because a lot of these things will start to make sense, right? Like I said, these are I think podcasts, when done appropriately, especially like this, as far as like, because if you've taken a lot of like college courses or just courses like online, networked with people like selling or training courses or whatever, you kind of see that this is this is no different as far as the basic general information is out there for everyone. Everyone kind of has it. And then it's tweaked with their own understanding and opinion. And as long as it's put forth and known that way that, hey, here's the fucking reality of it. Here's what I think of it. Now make up your own mind. I think there's a lot of learning that can be done that way. Right now, if you're like faking this shit, like you come up with it or something, yeah, you're the people I've been talking about, for multiple episodes now, the snake oil salesman. Um, but if these are done correctly, these could be used like this is like brainstorming sessions. This is like the great minds of the past, but in the ability for the common everyday man for us to do that, right? To share our thoughts, our ideas, our opinions, and brainstorm ideas together and see if there's any fucking better ones. That's technically what a fucking, a rational fucking reasoning society should do. It should not just be a couple guys, a fucking handful of politicians, a priest class, It should be everyone um partaking in the fun, the ideas, the experiment we're all going through life, right? Like and America is even like newer in that experiment, right? Like we're like the new world, right? And we could get into the whole fucking again the Tataria, fucking, you know, Native American, all that shit. I'm not necessarily saying that, but I'm saying like America in general, like just the idea of the modern America was a new world idea, right? That mixed with the old world shit, like way, way old world. I'm not talking going back to just Greek. I'm talking going way back to fucking jungles and just figuring shit out and closer to the source of whatever the fuck was going on. Um, that world mixed with the modern world we in, maybe with a little bit of seasoning of some shit along the way. That is what New Earth is to me. So, yeah. 1 second here, and then we're gonna get into the next part, and then we'll see how long the episode goes after that, right? So yeah, like I've said, guys, if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, go check out my Instagram. I am Ryan underscore Rogers. I basically quick snippet post a lot of this shit that we talk about here, so you can kind of, you know, get an idea of what's to come up or what we've been discussing. It helps, you know, you just get more context behind why I think what I think. If you want to uh you know, check out some of my photography that I do. Like I said, I have a photography business. It's unearthed.imagery. Um, Also, there's links in my bio if you want to go purchase any of the photography. I use like this third party printer. You can get them pretty cool. And then, yeah, if you just want some cool memes, I have a little, I haven't updated in a while, but I'm probably going to get back to it the more time you guys allow me to be able to do this, just create content, like, because hopefully you're enjoying all this shit and you're starting to share it and spread it, and you're like, Ryan, we like what the fuck you're doing. And I'm like, oh, that's super cool. Oh man, that light right there behind me keeps coming. I thought it was like something on my screen. That's funny. Anyways, yeah, you guys let me know that you know, are liking this, sharing it, and help me beat the algorithm, and then I'll know that I have more time to create content and can focus on this, because this is what I fucking love doing. I love, like I said, whether it's through getting you high off some good old Mary Jane for the first time, or you know, if you come and have a fucking Reiki session with me, or whether it's through this, through learning and understanding a world that you may not have thought existed within this shit, as far as just the real life roots, not fucking woo woo mysticism. Again, fun. That's how it had to be explained back before we were in the age of information and all knowledge, and we could fucking make sense of it a little more firmly, in my mind. Maybe I'm wrong though. Again, what the fuck do I know? Again, I've had this thought. Psychologists talk about um uh a phenomenon. I forget what the fuck it's called. You'll have to look it up, but it's basically like a shared delusion where if you spend enough time with oh man, something in my throat. If you spend enough time with a schizophrenic person, you could actually like become tied up into their world of delusions and shit, right? It's like a shared schizophrenia. One, I think this just like totally proves the fact of like projected reality, right? Like, how could that be possible otherwise? That being said, if that is possible, what if our understanding, like I said before, of mental illness and the bigger picture spirituality of what's going on, what if there is enough, just like the 100 monkey effect, and when enough people learn something, the rest of us inherently learn it? What if there is enough schizophrenics in the world that it is enough to uh morph the fucking projected reality to where we're all in a shared delusion? And maybe that's why we all have so many fucking crazy conspiracies and thoughts. I don't know. It's just kind of fun to think about, right? But hey, what is this podcast good for if not to just question reality a little bit? All right. So the last thing we're going to get into, guys, the fucking this uh gate program. So yeah, this is one again. Again, even though I think what I think about conspiracies and we don't need them, they're just not necessary. They are fun to play with. They're fun to see. It's like modern comic books, really, right? It's like its own little world of fucking oohs and ahs, right? You can't get too fucking tied up into them, but they are fun to fucking go through. So that being said, this gate program or whatever, only seen a few fucking reels on it. So I want to look more into it. If this is something you guys have heard about and know more, fucking let me know, right? Let me know more below. But yeah, they said, I think I heard like gifted and talented. I don't know what the E was, but basically it was like in the 90s, and it was a they would pull kids out of class apparently and look at their ability to do certain shit, a lot of science like STEM things. And then these kids kind of being watched or whatever, kind of guided into Navy psychic programs and remote viewing programs and astral projection, fucking out of body programs. Yeah, like remote view spying and shit like that. So that's kind of the down and dirty of it, right? Feel free to correct me or add the specifics of it. But that's kind of the down and dirty of it. Um Here's where I want to say it's weird, right? Back to this coincidence thing. So, in 4th grade, not only was that a big year for me, like I said, my brothers started me smoking weed that year. Also had Dare that year, so the onion thing that I talked about, me starting to perceive things are not as they appear, right? Because I'm seeing this guy say all this crazy shit about marijuana and I'm experiencing it at home with my brothers, and it's like, it's not anything like that. So I know you're fucking lying, right? That same year, I was in a special fucking program. It was still in school, but basically, I wasn't the only one. I remember like a handful of my fucking friends that were in it. Um, and we only got to come out of class for like 1 hour out of the day, and it was only like once a week, and or maybe they quit sending me and they kept going, but I only went like 3 or 4 times. Like, it wasn't very many times, just a handful of fucking times out of class for like an hour to go do, we called it tag, talented and gifted, right? Me and my buddies thought it was funny to call it GAT, freaking gifted and talented, right? Anyways, we would just go out and we would do like extra math and science shit. I don't remember like the specifics of what it was. Here's the weird thing about it that I was telling my wife. I don't even really remember. And I remember that school, like my elementary school, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. Like, I remember the layout fucking beautifully. Uh, I don't remember which classroom was which teachers, right? But I remember like the hall set up, how the gym was, like, hall, gym. So this front hall went all the way across. Then there was a gym in the middle, and then there was a back hall that connected the front hall like that, like an H, and then the same thing on this side, right? So 4 halls total, but like this one was one. So I guess 3 halls total. But anyways, and then a library up here on the front, fucking office, and yeah, principal's office and shit over here. My classroom was over fucking on this fucking first fucking here. 4th grade, 5th grade, it was on that back hall. 6th grade, that back hall. So I remember the fucking layout of that school like the back of my fucking hand, right? For some reason, I don't remember where we went in the school for this fucking class. It's super weird to me. I don't know. It could just be something that's fucking wasn't important enough to remember. Maybe it was just the library. I don't know, but I don't remember like going to a specific classroom. I literally just remember like we'd leave class and then walking back to the class. I always remember us laughing and joking about fucking, you know, get and fucking blah blah blah, and we'd come back in. It was always like in my mind, it always seemed like an opposite thing of special ed, as far as like rather than taking the special ed kids out and making them feel weird, you take the few faster kids out and the class can keep going at its regular pace, and then we just come back in. I just thought that's what it was my whole life, right? Because like I said, I only remember doing it a handful of times, and that was it. It was fourth grade. So fourth grade would have been, like what, freaking 9 years old. And so 9 years old would have been like 98. So yeah, so the fucking 97 to 2000 range, if anybody else like can corroborate any of this. Okay, so anyways, here's the fucking weird thing in making the connections to the couple reels that I've seen. So even though I only did that a handful of times, it was like enough to I was in advanced math, like I've talked about before in my story, like for the rest of my life after that, as far as like I was always just a little bit better at math than I was like the rest of subjects for whatever reason. And then fast forward to, so yeah, I was never, fast tracked or recruited like right there uh towards some special military program or anything, right? So that's why I don't know if I'm just making connections here or if this is all just weird. That's why I'm telling it to you guys. So anyways, go through college, and like you guys have heard of my story, then I'm, dabbling with psychedelics, and I have a crazy psychedelic experience at freaking, spring barter fair. I'm doing a freaking hippie flip. I don't know exactly what it was, but I had some Molly, some LSD, and some shrooms, and yeah, I was gonzo, right? Took me like 2 weeks to come back to freaking reality, like full, not like good permafried, man, but just like spacey, like whoa, that was a big one, right? Because that was also the one where I had like the epiphany to like join the military. That's like, that was the big thing that came out of that. Hey, this big period you're at in your life with trying to figure everything out and this whole thing and blah blah blah, like what just made sense was the military out of nowhere, which is fucking weird because like I said, I don't have like a family like military background. I wasn't like I'd only had a couple buddies that I knew that went to the military, and no one like even super close, like friend wise, just like I guess a couple acquaintances at the time. So wasn't even like this a fucking thing on my mind, right? So it was weird even to me. That's why again, like I didn't even want to tell my friends about it because I knew they were gonna fucking like try and talk me out of it. Like that's how out of the blue this was I knew I could probably even be talked out of it, but for some reason I felt like I had to do it. Can't explain that. And anyways, so when I go to do that, which this is the freaking 2008 2009 uh era, whatever the fuck you want to call that time frame. And as I go and talk to the recruiter, because my ASVAB score, he says, "Hey, you qualify for this new program that we're doing," and I don't think it's new. Like new old program. I think they'd had it for a while, but it wasn't like super popular. It was like, yeah, up on the shelf, an old thing on the shelf that they were dusting off, because there was other people when I got there. I wasn't like that special, like the only one that had this contract. No, there was other guys. So this was like a new old program that they were fucking dusting off for like that time period. And I don't know exactly when it started. Maybe it started a few years before that. And I don't know how long it went. Maybe it's still a thing. I don't fucking know. I couldn't tell you. But anyways, he says, "Hey, because your ASVAB score, blah, 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 you qualify for this 18X-ray fucking program that we're doing now, which is like I've explained before, like fast track you to special forces, basically, like selection process. Like you just normally you had to get offered, a special forces fucking contract through being a badass, basically, through basic training, and then get lucky and go fucking jump school and then to selection. So this 18X-ray was like a fast track there, right? As long as you weren't a complete fucking dipshit. Um, and mainly the reason why I did it, if you want to, if we're fucking being honest, was that fucking program for some reason. I think it had to do with that program. I got to go in as a PFC, so like a private first class, so like an E3 where most people going in go as an E1. So that fucking MOS like already started off with a little fucking perk, if you will. So I was like, oh fuck yeah, I think it's a little bump in your pay. Plus, when you're playing a game of rank system, you want to obviously move up as fast as you can in rank, obviously, right? So I thought that was cool. So anyways, as you know, I fucking don't end up keeping the 18X-ray contract like through fucking basic. I'm just like fucking not fuck this, fuck the military yet. Like I hadn't fucking reached that point, but I was like fuck this as far as like I'm ready to go. Like I want to go overseas. I want to go do the shit. Like all the shit we were doing in training, like I had a blast. Like I literally did become like the best version of myself, like physically, and was on my way to becoming it mentally, right? Like I was clearing shit up because I was like coming out of that, like not only was I doing psychedelics and everything, to have that epiphany to go, but like I was starting my addiction into freaking opiates, right? They would become a problem later in my life. We've talked about that in my story. Fucking clean and sober now, but yeah, they were a fucking pesky little problem, and they started before then. So literally through basic training and shit, I looked at it as like, whoa, I became like the best version of myself I've ever been physically. Like I was doing shit physically that I couldn't believe. Like I said, fucking 2 mile in 12.5 minutes. Fucking 70 push-ups in fucking 2 minutes, 120 sit-ups in 2 minutes. Like I looked good, I felt good, it was awesome, right? That being said, I was getting a little homesick as far as like I through like our basic training. I don't know if this is normal for everyone, right? But no, I think I had like one phone call the whole time, like fucking 16 weeks or whatever it was there. And so, not trying to boo hoo me, but like that was a big shock in my life at that time where I was like going from fucking, constantly being around parents and friends and this and that to trying to, become myself. And even though I was enjoying it, I still was like, oh, fucking some of that social life, right? Like I want some of it back. Like I love this fucking dude I'm becoming, but I want some of that. So I didn't want to do 2 more years of fucking training and selection process and this and that, right? I was ready to fucking go to a unit and start doing the fucking kicking in doors like we'd fucking train. And so anyways, drop that contract and go to, Fort Hood, Texas, like I've talked about. It's where I got fucking stationed. And let's see. So yeah, I'm at Fort Hood, and it's here where I guess things kind of get weird. Well, this is obviously where, you know, after time I eventually end up leaving my military career from Fort Hood. But it's just like this whole series of weird events that led to now that looking back and like now hearing about this fucking program, it's like, what the fuck? Was I just like a failed fucking experiment because they couldn't fucking turn me or whatever? So anyways, ready to fucking go gung ho. So I'm at fucking Fort Hood, and it's just fucking weird right away as far as, so I hadn't even, I'd always, like, even though I started smoking weed super early, I never had a problem fucking stopping smoking weed. Like, I could literally stop smoking, start smoking whenever I wanted to. Like, it was no thing for me up to that point. Like, if anything, like the fucking short little stint that I was starting to develop with the opiates were definitely way more of a fucking problem, right? So that's why this was fucking weird. Cause like, so yeah, getting to Fort Hood, I'm 16, 17 plus weeks fucking clean off of everything. Haven't done anything, obviously. Fucking chewing tobacco was like what I did. Um, but like the fucking first week of orientation at Fort Hood, again, don't know if this is like normal for every class, if this is still the way it is, or if I just was like caught up in some weird little fucking weird way of doing shit for a small little period of time. But I'm letting it out there in case anybody else had a similar experience. But anyways, like the whole fucking week of processing, which I had to fucking normally probably wouldn't have took that fucking long, but my bags were fucking lost on the airline, so I was literally like in this little fucking shitty intermediate fucking bunk thing for like 4 fucking days before my bag even got there. So um yeah, this fucking there was so much shit in this fucking first week of processing there about this stuff called spice. Don't do spice. Spice is everywhere. It's fucking, even though it's not illegal for the world, it's illegal for military people. Spice, don't do spice. And I kept hearing fucking this spice everywhere, dude. And I'm not gonna lie, I literally thought it was like spice, like these dudes were talking about like fucking spices, oregano or something, because like we did that shit when we were younger, like fucking 6th, 7th grade, when I started having some stoner buddies, like trying to sell some other dorks a little bag of weed, right? Put a little weed in there and then a little oregano. I thought they were literally talking about like spices. I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, people are so desperate to do something in here, they'll fucking smoke and spice. That's fucking dumb. So anyways, fast forward like a month or two. Now I'm in my unit and we're like starting to do shit. We're going out and fucking training and blah blah blah, because getting ready to deploy in a few months, right? So slowly starting to do shit. Plus there was more new guys than just me, so I guess getting us familiar with everything and everyone and what the fuck we do. So anyways, we're out doing some fucking exercise shit, and this guy, he's like, he was one of the guys that ends up getting out with me. I don't want to use his name, but anyways, he's like, hey, Rogers. He's like, you ever fucking tried spice? And I was like, dude, everybody, I heard about this shit, like, coming in. I keep hearing about this shit. What is this fucking shit, spice? Like, you guys smoking, like, spices? Like, he's like, no, dude, spice. He's like, it's like legal marijuana. And I'm like, oh, really? What the fuck? He's like, yeah, it's like fucking synthetic marijuana or whatever. And I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. So obviously, being a fucking stoner, I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's like, yeah, it doesn't fucking show up in P tests or anything like that. I'm like, whoa, that's fucking cool. Obviously, going through my mind, right? Fucking shamanic Ryan, haven't fucking done anything forever, and now, oh, this is like a legal weed. This is what they've been talking about. And it doesn't show up in a drug test. Like, of course, I'm like super good at hiding shit. That's why I see why all the stress was on it now at the beginning. Like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, even though it's legal, don't do it. Because I was like, oh, okay, this shit's everywhere and I can fucking have a little fun. So, anyways, fucking long story short, fucking get off work that night, go get some, try it. And I'm like, oh, okay, fucking this is cool. I'll admit right now, that shit is nothing like, especially for those of you out there doing any of it. Like, if you're doing like just the straight like cannabinoids or terpenes of it, like Delta 8, Delta 9, the different terpenes, that's different. That's fucking normal. If you're somebody still doing the synthetic, like fake spray on shits, like, this shit's nothing like weed. That's what I'm gonna say. So at the time, it was cool because, yeah, it didn't show up in a P test or anything like that, and it was legal. You could literally just go buy it right off base at any fucking shop you wanted. But it's nothing like a marijuana high. Like, that shit fucking gonzos you mentally compared to marijuana. Like, it doesn't give you the creative fucking chill. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had some strains of weed that are fucking, since I'm a sativa guy, that are like fucking, whoa, this is a pretty fucking energetic strain here, but nothing like fucking spice. Um, so anyways, yeah, long story short, get some, try it. Okay, this is a fucking cool thing, whatever. So me and a couple fucking buddies, I've told this story again in my story, so I'm just going to kind of brief over it this time. But me and a couple buddies, we develop a little routine of, meeting up at fucking one of our barracks at fucking night and having a little get together and doing our thing. And this goes on for a little while. Like, us four become pretty good fucking buddies. And, yeah, anyway, so we had this special fucking day where, like, we got the day off work. Like, we were called in, went down. They literally just did like a ruck check real quick, fucking, and then we got to go back to our barracks at like 9 in the morning and just chill the rest of the day. So obviously us four are like, hey, fucking Call of Duty and fucking smoke a spice blunt. Let's fucking do it. Little did we know, I think it was a fucking legit setup. I think somebody had told on us before and this was just the setup and we didn't fucking know. That being said, we go do our thing, blah, blah, blah. We're in the room and it's a fucking setup. We get fucking caught smoking this spice and they fucking blow it out, make a big whole ordeal. Here's where I'm just going to breeze through things. Little did we know, and here's where the weird part of the story is where you connect the dots and make the coincidences, because I don't see how this could happen to anybody else in the middle, like maybe there's other ways. I guess I'm not saying this is the only way, but it's fucking strikingly odd, like a movie, that I could start with a fucking 6-year contract. That's what my contract was supposed to be. 6 fucking years with this 18X-ray contract. And I fulfilled 2.5 of those years and I got an honorable discharge, under honorable conditions discharge. It's like the second best discharge you can get. Tell me how that's possible, if not some weird fucking coincidences, right? So anyways, long story short, one of the 4 guys' stepdad is like a military JAG officer. He basically lets us in on all the intricacies of what's actually going on. And basically what it come down to was we could have stayed in. I could have stayed in the military. We could have stayed in and just literally changed units. Like, literally, since our unit was fucking getting ready to deploy, and by the time this whole process would have been fucking going on, we wouldn't have been out yet. So it would have like made shit complicated for them. We weren't going with them. They weren't going to let us go with them. So yeah, we would have fucking changed units and fucking, started at the fucking bottom. We got Article 15, so literally fucking demoted all the way back to a fucking E1, which I was literally just getting ready to get my E4 specialist at this point. If I didn't already have it, I might have fucking had it. I can't remember. It was fucking super fast and furious for it, man. And spicy. So anyways, yeah, basically we could stay in, change units, that's that. What they would rather happen, and this is kind of under the table, would rather happen, that we were hearing from the JAG officer, is they would rather make an example out of you guys. They would rather use you guys basically as a scare tactic to tell everybody else, hey, look at what happens if you use spice. You will get kicked out of the military. And if you guys take that one, you'll get the good discharge. You'll get the under honorable conditions discharge, blah, blah, blah. It was not even a decision for me. Like, I was back into my mindset. I became the best version of myself physically, and now my mind was morphed back into, and I was seeing a whole bigger picture agenda and starting this awakening process that I'm on now, right? Like, because that was literally the end of 2011, start of 2012. So, and weird, that's like the Mayan calendar time, right? But that awakening, like, culminating now it started fucking then. So I was like, nope, yep, I'm taking that one. I'm ready. I don't give a fuck, right? They were trying all these scare tactics like, oh, you're never gonna fucking work again. No one's ever gonna hire you. Fucking once they see your fucking DD214, you're never gonna get hired again. Where all these scare tactics, the dude's getting out with me. They're like, "Are you sure you're doing this, dude? I don't know. What are you gonna do? What are you?" I'm like, "Dude, fucking, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I don't care. I'm not worried about it." Literally, I've had some of the best jobs I've ever had in my life. Obviously, after that, so they're scare tactics. That's what they were. I hope those guys that got out with me are all doing just as good. I haven't talked to them since. So if you guys are watching this by chance, fucking hit me up. Let me know. Come on the podcast. We'll talk about shit. See how things have gone for you since. But anyways, yeah, fast forward then till now, meeting my wife, the kids, the whole awakening process that I've undergone with these tools. And now I'm literally trying to start a podcast explaining the real life roots in these metaphysical tools. Do you not think that's fucking weird? If that gate program is real and my life went like that and I didn't know any of that shit, tag, right? And I did it like on my own, or did I do it on my own? Did the fucking psychedelics, is that like a homing beacon that they fucking picked up on? And like, part of me was like learning it, but because I had the, I don't know, the fucking plant medicine vaccine of either psychedelics or marijuana, it just couldn't fully leach into me and pull me out, right? I don't know. I don't know, man. Like I said, I have thought ever since then all the weird shit, because they hit us with just vaccine city, dude. I don't know what all, like stuff that doesn't even exist anymore. So I've literally told the wife one of two things. Either they fucking made me a superhuman, or they fucking put something in me to fucking either like monitor and or destroy me over time. One or the other, right? Fucking. So, yeah, I just thought that was like super, super interesting, hearing that and hearing those and making those connections. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think of that, trying to see if there's anything that I left out. Oh, sorry guys. Like I said, this freaking thickness in the air. Not to mention, I did smoke my chronic. And speaking of chronic, guys, see what we're looking at. Time. Alright, I might get ready to start wrapping this up and try and keep it under 2 hours this time. But hey, before I go, try and maybe end things on a more just casual note and talking about chronic. Going with all this rational, I think it ties all this rational shit back together, right? Chronic unease. When I was fucking underground mining, they used to show us this video called Chronic Unease. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the name sounds gay. It sounds stupid as fuck. Chronic unease. It's actually a kind of really cool fucking concept. It's something I've done my whole life. I never called it chronic unease until I fucking watched this video. I still don't call it chronic unease. I just relate that to the fucking video, right? That's like the fucking memory that brings it back. What it is, though, basically what they talk about is it's not ever getting into complacency, right? Complacency, stagnation, not growth, not evolving, not moving forward, not thinking, unawareness. That is like the number one, like, killer, distractor, fucking procrastinator, you name it. Just like pull us away from our fucking higher self, disaligning fucking thing, right? So this chronic unease, the way I see it, to try and tie it to this real life shit. So the way they use it in like the workforce, right, is to not get complacent. Even shit you do on a regular basis, always have it in the back of your mind, like, this can fucking bite me, or this can go wrong, right? Not to the point of where you're worrying about it. No, but where you're just like, you don't ever fucking stop forgetting to put your hand there because a fucking gate will close it. As simple as it is, right? Like a fucking finger smash. You're just always thinking about where you put your hand so you don't do it. Just consciously thinking, which then expands your awareness and, just becomes an everyday motion, like keeping your head on a swivel rather than chronic unease. But um this is like how we can like approach uh like everything we fucking do, right? Like all the in this age of information, this age of truth, everyone we interact with or what we're being told or anyone trying to cancel us or whatever the fuck it is, approach everything with a bit of skepticism, right? Even the things you think you know because you've been taught them your whole fucking life, maybe have it on the back of your mind like, is that really how it is? So then when you hear something that is contrary to it, a little red light goes off and you don't automatically like, oh, it was wrong. But no, now you can start rationally dissecting it and saying, did a red light go off for a reason? Or what was it, right? Like this chronic unease like mindset, I think that could literally be like linked to or akin to like heightened awareness, fucking head on a swivel, right? So just thought that's a cool little fucking point to kind of maybe drive drive all this fucking drive all this home because I'm gonna end it on this. I'm gonna end this fucking podcast with the post I did earlier because I think it's like so fitting. But if we're all supposed to be so different and unique, and we're taught that's what's like special about us, like from the time we're a child, like, oh, you're special, you're different, you're unique, you're one of a kind, fucking, to the hardcore fucking projected Christian ethos of like you're created in the image of God, right? Like, um, but yet those of us who try to express these differences, like who try to like show our fucking uniqueness, who try to stand out, right? And some people in the world even go as far as fucking saying we're gods, we're all fucking gods, right? They're not saying we're the God, right? Like we're all gods in his image, then we're all gods. We're all creator gods, able to create, right? But some of those people have been killed in history. We get canceled. We get fucking called the black sheep. We get called the weirdos. Um, it's so counterintuitive, right? Like it does not make sense to me, and especially if we're talking about this rational thinking, like ask yourselves that, like, why are we told and taught we're so unique, but then when we try to say in the world today that we're unique, hey, I'm so unique, like I connect with my higher self, with source, with God through cards, like it tells me stories that make sense to me in my life. No, you can't do that, it's fucking evil. It's like, come on guys, like what's going on? Like, oh, I do some plant medicine, some hape before I go into meditative state and I have crazy good visions. Like it makes sense of my visions that then weird seemingly like come true in my life, right? Not like world prophecy, just personal fucking revelation, things in my life that then come true. It's like, how do you no, don't do that, that's so evil. It's like, we gotta freaking stop that shit these days, guys. Like, we are all so different and so individual and so unique, and the data and information and experience that we are collecting, we are sending back into the fucking collective, right? To help out future generations and to help our brains come online faster, like a literally like a fucking a real life organic electromagnetic conscious fucking computer coming online, upgrading literally in real time right before our very eyes, awakening, going from fucking Windows 95 to fucking Mac operating system in 2025. It's going to be like that big of a fucking leap. It's going to be crazy, right? That is the awakening. I don't know how quick of a process. Obviously, for me, it's been forever, but I can say these last few months have been like rapid. But for those of you who are interested in a lot of this shit, man, I'm telling you, that's the way. Psychedelics are like the cheat code for real. But a lot of these tools, they are tools for hyperdimensional learning. Literally, that's what it does. Like, they all get you to a place of such silence to where you can connect to the fucking data stream that is connected and plugged into the fucking library, the treehouse, the Akashic records, and you can download that shit. You can fucking communicate with fucking past loved ones, entities, energies, archetypes. You can out of body experience. You can do all of these things. They're fucking cool. We're going to talk about them more. Like, astral projecting and out of body experience is one that, like, I had happened to me as you've listened to my story, like, here or there. Then I heard about it and I got interested in it and I tried it for so long. Everything you could do, meditative state, this, that, music, eating right. And then finally it happened one time. And I was like, whoa, that was crazy. And then I was able to repeat it multiple times to where now I can just go into it. I don't know. I could tell you guys when we do that episode, I'm going to tell you guys how I do it. And you guys can go try it and see if it works. But it's fucking cool. Like, astral projection might be one of the, like, the most mind-blowing fucking experiences I have had next to psychedelics. I don't even put psychedelics above it. It's like, if psychedelics, and I've done fucking DMT, if psychedelics are like, they do something that's so unexplainable but so fucking real, it's like life-changing. Astral projection's the same way. It's unexplainable, but the feeling that you get out of it is, it's so fucking real that what you're doing is realer than this reality. It's fucking insane. And it's a repeatable process, and it's not evil, and it's not fun. And I used to hear all these things about a golden cord, and if you fucking lose your golden cord, you die. And it's like, no, it's all fucking, maybe, I mean, I don't know if it's all make believe, but a lot of it's all fear tactics as far as I've experienced. I've had nothing but awesome, fun, fucking cool experiences with it once I found out what was going on. Before I knew what was going on, it was crazy and scary, and I used to call them night terrors. Once I knew after I figured out what was going on, oh, it's fucking out of body experiences. It's astral projection. This is cool as fuck. And I can repeat it, and I do it on purpose now sometimes. So, I just want to leave you guys with that things are not as they appear. We're going to keep going. I feel like we're already talking about some super cool shit that I hope you guys are getting excited about. But we got more. We got full episodes on psychedelics, human design, gene keys, tarot cards, plant medicine, more energy work, more conspiracies. Let me know what you think about this fucking GATE program, tag program, my military life experience. Like, is there some shit there? Like, are those crazy coincidences? Am I just making shit up, connecting random dots? I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. Help me fucking beat the algorithm. Share the shit out of this, right? If you don't like it, I'm sorry. Move along. If you like it at all, if you're getting anything out of it, fucking thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for following, sharing. And until next time, guys, we'll see you on Wrong Side of the Tracks. Love you. Go have a good night.